how do you make changes and update your website if you built it with AI. So if you're interested in making a website with Bolt, I'm going to show you in this video how to take it to StackBlitz, create a GitHub repo from it, and then deploy it to Netlify so you can make changes locally on your computer and then just send a quick git command to automatically update your whole website online. By the end of this video, I hope you feel comfortable stepping away from WordPress, Card, or Notion for your next project and start getting comfortable in the land of the command line interface. Let's get started. So in Bolt.new, we can just make any old app, say, let's just say build a mobile app with Expo that displays all listings from, I don't know, MontessoriFind.com. All right, so say this is how we originally made our app. We're gonna export it. We can download a zip file, okay? So I download the zip file, or I can click open in StackBlitz. That is how you bring your project from Bolt.new to the rest of the world. So StackBlitz is the first step. And then you can see how you can open it in Bolt.new, but we don't really care that much. This is a Montessori listings app, and I click here, create a repository. Now, if you haven't used GitHub before, now's your chance. We call the app Montessori Find app. We call the repo the Montessori Find app. Create repository. If you're not connected to GitHub already, you're going to have to connect your account. If you haven't learned Git yet, check out my 5-day command line bootcamp. It's just 5 minutes a day of exercises to get comfortable with the command line. And we do get into learning Git. It's very basic, but it'll give you the confidence you need to start getting into it. So we've got connection to GitHub here. You see we're on the main branch. We could check out a new branch. It'll show you different branches. We don't have to worry about that right now. But what's important here is that we're connected to GitHub. So now I can find this app on GitHub, which is hilarious, right? And I can even write a README. In fact, I probably would write a README so I know how to run it. But for now, here we are. StackBlitz is pretty dope because you get to see your deployment right next to your code. Anyway, so we got this repo. It's on GitHub. So now what do? I can clone it. I copy this, or I use SSH. SSH is going to be what GitHub prefers. You have to add an SSH key into your account. I'll explain that in another video. Ask in a comment if you need help with that. But basically then you make a new project in Cursor. So I clone a repo, I paste it there, press enter, it's cloning. Oh, and it wants a password. Boom. So now we have on our local computer the same thing that's there on GitHub, the same thing that's there on StackBlitz, and it all came from Bolt.new creating it. So here we go. It doesn't matter if we're here editing the code in StackBlitz or Cursor, but I will say that in Cursor, we get to have an AI agent here with us. So I'm going to say, write a README for installation instructions. All right, so now it's making a README file. Basically, I'm just doing this to show you, there's a quick introduction to Git. Git could be a whole course, but it's also really easy. Just a little bit of command line confidence. Once again, check out the command line bootcamp down. There's a link in the description. All right, so now it made that. And now you can either go over here to this Git source control tab, and you can see it visually, or you can open it in the terminal. There's kind of a use case in both occasions. As a beginner, I always use this, but it eventually just kind of, I don't know, got kind of annoying. But first I'm going to change the changes. You git add dot. Okay, that just makes sure it knows all the files inside the folder. We're going to say, hey, there's been changes. Let's upload them. And then we say git commit m. Now that m flag means message. And we say add readme install instructions. Boom. Now it made a commit. And now you'll see up here in the visual, even though I didn't use this, it's all part of the same Git repository. So it adds this new commit. And you'll see it's not on the origin cloud repo yet because it's still local. So I made the changes, I staged the changes, and I made the commit, but I still haven't pushed it to GitHub. So the last thing to do is push these changes to GitHub, which is simply git push. Gonna ask for my password. Now it's sent. Now, if we go over to GitHub, this was, remember, initial commit. We haven't done anything yet. 5 minutes, let's refresh it. You can say add readme install instructions 1 minute ago. See how fast that was? So that's how we're connecting our app between Cursor, GitHub, and the internet itself with Netlify. So there's multiple ways we can deploy to Netlify. Now, depending on your app, it might just say deploy in Netlify. But because this isn't really a Netlify type app, it's a mobile app. It uses Expo, it's all this stuff. I don't have that option here in StackBlitz, but if you're just using a Next.js project or something like that, then it'll have an option that just says, hey, deploy on Netlify. Otherwise, you sign up on Netlify, you add a new website, import a project, you connect to GitHub, and you find the repo. Done. You're connected. And then every time there's a new git push command with new changes, you can actually see it's going to build the new site. It says how long it took to build, completed. It'll show you if you have an error, any of that. And this is a different repo, by the way. I'm not putting the Montessori Find app on Netlify right now, but I'll show you with this different repo. Basically, every time I git push, then it's going to see it from GitHub. It's going to track the commit, and it's going to redeploy your website. So all you got to do is say git push, and there it is. So this is the very basics of creating a website on Bolt.new that you can then keep working on through GitHub with Cursor AI. StackBlitz is pretty powerful too, but Netlify really makes the magic happen and saves a whole lot of work. This is how development is done on apps and bigger websites. Imagine if you had a 7,000 page website and you want to go through and update that on WordPress. Probably not. So even if you don't have thousands of pages on your website, this will give you more control in the long run. You have to have a bit of a lower time preference here. You are sacrificing speed and comfort here in the beginning to learn how to use Git and to learn how to deploy your websites with services like Netlify. But at the end of the day, if you want to expand as a developer and create things and build, then you need to learn using Git on the command line. So I hope this video was helpful. In the next video, I'm actually going to build a website with Bolt and StackBlitz, and I'm going to record the whole thing so you can see a bit more in the weeds of how to do things. So follow along if you're into that. If you found value in this video, I appreciate you leaving a like and sharing it with a friend, someone that is also on the same path of graduating from an AI passenger to an AI captain. And don't forget to check out that command line interface bootcamp. I'll see you in the next video. Peace.